Good morning, my little willow leaves. Today I wanted to share with you my peaceful morning routine. I love mornings so much, and it's because I cultivated this relaxing routine to welcome the new day. First, I never set an alarm. I let my body wake me up when it's ready. That's usually between 7 and 8 a.m. I drink a full glass of water, then head out for a morning jog through our neighborhood. Isn't it beautiful in the springtime? If it's raining, I'll opt for some yoga. When I get home, it's time for breakfast. I like to have something like farm fresh eggs from our neighbor's chickens, or a blueberry smoothie with berries from our organic backyard farm, or even homemade granola mixed in with some homemade soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, no sugar, no fat Greek yogurt. Yum! Once I've eaten, I take some time to shower and get ready for the day. It is so important to get dressed, fix your hair, and maybe put on a little makeup. Even if you're not planning to leave the house, this helps me feel ready to get to work. Around 11, I sit down and write out my intentions for the day along with 3 positive affirmations for myself and 3 things I'm grateful for. This ensures a good mindset for the remainder of the day. Then it's time to get to work. You already know that's not it. Let me show you what my real morning routine looks like. Mornings for me are supposed to start at 6 a.m. with an alarm, but sometimes I wake up at 5 or 4 or 3, but let's pretend this is one of those rare times I actually slept through the night. First, I stumble to the bathroom trying to avoid the mirror because that's a sight. I take about half an hour to help the bunnies. Crispin's space needs to have the blankets changed out since they've been peed on all night. Sometimes he has poop mashed into his fur and I have to clean that off. Nibs is usually clean since he wears a diaper now, but I still have to change his diaper, palpitate his bladder, and hold him up while he drinks some water. I refill all the food bowls, give all the bunnies their joint supplements, and refill their water dishes. I have about 20 minutes at this point to drink some coffee and chat with some friends on Twitch, and then it's into the shower around 6:50. I do take time for a bit of skincare with products from Crave Beauty. I've been using them for a couple months now and they're working really well for me. I put on the most comfortable clothes that I own that are not pajamas. Although sometimes I will wear pajama bottoms if I'm feeling bad. I work from home and no one sees me, so who cares, right? If my hair is lucky, I will run a brush through it. But usually I do this. It's a quick twist and a clip on the back of my head. I might brush it at lunchtime, but I probably am not going to mess with it until after work, which is around 4 p.m. Don't judge me. By 7:30, I'm sitting down at my desk for work with a bowl of cereal or maybe some yogurt. Little different. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and today we're going to be talking about morning routines. Now, there have been a few times over the last maybe year or so where I've had people request to see my morning routine as a writer. And I'm just sort of like, lols, what is, that's not a thing. Like, I have a morning routine. It doesn't involve writing pretty much ever. And I came across a bunch of videos recently that just made me not mad or like upset, just like frustrated. I felt frustrated watching them. Morning routine videos have been a thing on YouTube for ages. People love sharing how they get up in the morning, what they eat for breakfast, if they have like an exercise routine, if they do something relaxing, all this kind of stuff. I have a lot to say about morning routines. If you do a search on YouTube for morning routine, you will see these kind of videos. The vast majority of these videos are from young women who are either unattached or living on their own. A lot of times they are self-employed or they're a freelancer or they're someone who can kind of set their own hours. And they share these really glorious morning routines where they're getting up and they're fixing like a full breakfast for themselves and they're having like an exercise or like a yoga routine that they do, and it's this very chill, very like aesthetic, very romance your life kind of video and kind of morning that they've cultivated for themselves. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Those people have a life and are in a season of life where those kind of mornings for themselves are realistic and it's easy for them to do, or at least, within the realm of possibility for them to do. And the videos can be fun to watch. They're very calm, they're very chill, they're very relaxing. And I know some people just like watching them for that kind of vibe. When I watch those kind of videos, I either feel like I'm not doing good enough with my morning routine, or I feel like that's the morning routine that I should be aiming for. Like, that's the thing, that's the way my morning should go. And I'm not in a season of life right now where a calm, relaxing, wake up morning kind of thing is realistic. It's just not. And I'm guessing a lot of you watching also are in the same kind of boat where you're either getting up and immediately getting ready for work and heading out the door, or you're a parent and you've got to get up and take care of your kids or get them ready for school and all that kind of stuff. And there's of course things that we can change sometimes about the way we schedule our mornings to make it a little more relaxed, to make it a little more easy for ourselves to get out the door or get to work or get the kids on the school bus or whatever it is you need to do. But a lot of times mornings are just a hectic time of day. You have a deadline. Either you have to be at work at this time, you have to leave the house at this time, the kids have to be on the bus at this time. Like, there's a lot of deadlines in the morning for most people. And so having these sort of relax and just groove your way through the day, like, that's not happening. There's also the sort of glorification of waking up early. This really annoys me. Everybody's sleep patterns, everybody's need for sleep is going to be a little different. Some people can get 5 hours of sleep and they're good to go. They're fine. Other people like absolutely need 8 hours or they're going to be a zombie through the next day. Everybody's a little different in that regards, right? So you oftentimes see these morning routine videos where people are getting up at like 5:30, 5 o'clock. I've seen ones where there was one I saw where it was like it was a mom and she was getting up at like 4 in the morning. And that, you know, if that works for you, if that works for those people, that's fine. Do what you got to do, or do what feels good in the morning to do for yourself. Some people just naturally wake up really early like that. Totally fine. But there is sort of this pride that goes along with those early morning wake up hours. I get up at 5 in the morning. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. Like, it's almost like the glorification of being busy. You know how we kind of do that? Like, if you're not constantly being busy, then like, oh, you're just lazy. And there's sort of that same bent to that sort of, I get up really early. And I don't think those people who are making those videos are necessarily trying to promote that sort of attitude all the time, but I don't know. To me, that's how it sometimes comes off. There's also I don't know if it's popular advice, but advice I've heard before multiple times is, you know, just wake up 15 or 30 minutes earlier than you're used to, and then you'll have a little more time to play with in terms of like, you know, do you want to sit and read for a little while? Do you want to sit and journal for a little while? Do you want to get in some yoga, or like have time to make a breakfast for yourself? You know, that extra 15 or 30 minutes could give you time to do those things and allow your morning to be a little more relaxed and enjoyable. And if, again, that's the kind of thing where if you can do it, great. Go ahead, set your alarm 15 minutes earlier, and if that helps you and it's doable and it's not a big deal, then awesome. But not everyone can do that, or not everyone really wants to get up even earlier than they already do. So I'll give you an example from me in the season of life that I'm currently in. So my alarm goes off at 6, which I feel like is almost kind of a normal time to get up. A lot of people get up around 6:30, especially if you have a job to get to by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock I feel like is a time that isn't like super early, but it's not, I'm definitely not sleeping in. Some people might say, well, why don't you get up at like 5:45 or 5:30 and that'll give you a little more time, and it's just half an hour. Like, that's not really going to make a big difference. Let me tell you, my sleep schedule, my ability to sleep is it's not great. It's not great right now. I am not sleeping through the night. And a lot of times what'll happen is I'll wake up sometime between 1 and 3 in the morning, or I'll wake up sometime between 3 and 5 in the morning. Now, if I wake up between 1 and 3 and I wake up enough to sort of like have conscious thoughts, my thoughts are almost immediately, are the bunnies okay? And we did go ahead and I don't think I've shared this yet. But we did get video baby monitors to put in the bunny room so I can check on my phone to see how they're doing any time of day or night, which is great. Thank you to that person several videos back who suggested we get them because they've been working amazing. If I wake up between 1 and 3 in the morning and I check on the video monitors, almost always, not all the time, but almost always, some bunny is in need of assistance. And so I'm getting up at 2 in the morning to go change a diaper, to go pick up Crispin because he's fallen over, to clean him up because he's got pee on him. Like, that's what I'm doing at 2 in the morning, and then I go back to bed. If I wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning, I usually don't go back to bed. If I get up to take care of the bunnies at that point, I'm like awake. I'm awake. I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. And so there's been multiple times over the last 2 months where I've woken up at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and I'm just awake until it's time to go to bed the next night. I've actually started keeping track in my planner what nights I've been able to actually sleep through the entire night, which means, we go to bed and turn out the light and I fall asleep and I don't wake up again until 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm filming this on April 10th, and in the last 10 days, I've slept through the night twice. The idea of purposefully setting my alarm to go off 15 or 30 minutes or an hour earlier than it already does seems ridiculous to me for right now. Like, I don't want to give up any extra sleep I might be able to get because I'm trying to fit in some other thing to my morning. So as a writer, do I write in the mornings? No, I do not. Right now, I do not. There have been times in the past where I've gotten up and I've had time to journal. If you were here on my channel like a year plus ago, I was journaling every single day in the morning, and that was great for me. I really enjoyed it. But then I sort of got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it anymore, and now I'm certainly at a point where I wouldn't have time for it anymore, even if I wanted to do it. So I think something important to remember if you're watching some of these other morning routine videos and feeling frustrated that your morning can't look like that, most people's mornings are not going to be like that. Most people's mornings are going to be a little busier, a little more hectic. We've got to be out the door at a certain time, or sitting down at our desk at a certain time, or we have other stuff to deal with, and that's okay. You're going to have different seasons of life, and some seasons in life are going to be much more relaxed, much more able to fit in other things that aren't like necessities. But maybe you're in a phase of life right now where things are just really busy and it's really hectic, and there's not a whole lot you can do all the time to calm that stuff down. I know that the season of life I'm in right now is not going to last forever. Once the bunnies have moved on, I won't need to get up and take care of them anymore the way I am now. I'm really happy that they're here and I get to do that. So even though it's a lot of work, I don't mind doing it. I want to do it for them. I want to make them comfortable and happy for as long as I possibly can. But there's nothing particularly relaxing about it either. There's also the videos. I love the videos that they're like, romance your life, romanticize your life. And I'm like, there's nothing romantic about palpitating a rabbit bladder and then feeding him his own poop. Romanticize that. Also, if you're unaware, rabbits do have a poop that they're supposed to eat, and I have to help Nibs eat it. Anyway, that's my morning. All that to say, morning routines are gonna change as your life changes and evolves, and as you get older. What worked for you last year might not work for you this year. What works for you this year might not work for you next year. When I wake up in the morning, I don't picture myself as a writer. Like, that's not my identity in the morning. It just isn't. I'm not thinking about writing projects. I'm not thinking about, I need to write this scene, or I'm going to revise this part of the character, or I'm, thinking about what the character would do in this situation. I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm thinking about taking care of animals, taking care of myself, and getting to my job on time. I would love to be at a stage in life where I could do some writing in the morning. I think I do good work in the mornings, but it's just not realistic for me right now. And maybe it's not realistic for you either. All this to say is do what works for you in the morning. I oftentimes think that doing what works for you or doing what makes you happy is actually terrible advice, which is a topic for a whole nother video, but in this case, I think doing what works for you in the morning and not feeling bad about it is something to strive for. Do the things you need to get done in the morning and be okay with it. So tell me what your morning routine looks like. Do you actually have time to sit down in the morning and work on writing projects? Or do you save that for later in the day? Do you have kids and you're trying to like find the homework folder and the snacks and all this kind of stuff to get them out the door on time? Are you someone who has to travel a long distance to get to your office or your place of work? Like, what does your morning look like for you? Do you find it frustrating when you see those morning routine videos that are like aesthetic mornings and it's just not at all how your morning goes? I don't know. Tell me what you think about those. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, so make sure you click the subscribe button so they show up in your inbox when I post them. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.